Hey guys, if you're wondering what's taking so long, because I'm just trying to drink my hot tea because I love hot tea. I'm Persian. So give me 1 second and we'll be going live in just a few minutes. So just a couple of more sips. That's it. I need this energy. Good evening. Thanks for joining me. I'm not going to let you down. Give me 1 more second. What's up, Mike? How are you? Hot tea, man.
How much do mail-outs cost? Do you hire a VA to type them?
That's a very good question, and I'm going to explain that. I'm going to answer your question in this, and I'll do Q&A. If you guys have any questions, please let me know, and I'll be happy to answer it. All right, guys, this is Mike with My Real Estate Dojo, and sorry to keep you waiting, but in the next few minutes, what I'm going to talk about is how to do mail-outs and postcards that convert. Now, if you can't hear me, please leave a comment and on Facebook or YouTube, and I'll make sure I fix the audio part of it. Okay, guys? So again, how do you do mail-outs and postcards that convert? Now, first of all, I'm a very big believer of marketing, and mail-outs is a great marketing tool to have in your briefcase. However, being a refugee to America, mail-outs and postcards cost a lot of money. And I'll explain to you in my presentation what they cost so you kind of get it. So, but does that mean that I'm against mail-outs? No, absolutely not. I am for mail-outs. But I'm going to show you 3 ways that most people do mail-outs. So there's basically 3 ways to do mail-outs. Okay? Number 1 way is that people with very low education, thank you for getting that, you read my mind. People with low education or people that don't know what they're doing, they'll just do a shotgun effect and they'll just get an area. For example, they may get the area they live in, or they may get the area they want to market, like say a zip code area. So they'll do a shotgun effect, okay? And they'll get everywhere. And there's nothing wrong with that if you have only a specific zip code that you want to buy. The majority of investors have multiple locations in multiple cities and multiple areas they're working at. The other problem with the shotgun effect is that it's very, very expensive. When I do the numbers, you'll see what I'm talking about. Now, then we have the level 2 investors where they're smarter. They've gone and read some online forums. They've gone to real estate investment clubs, REIs, and they probably read a couple of books, and they know that they should do what's called the sniper rifle approach, where you zoom in on your audience, and what you do is you get a list, like a targeted list. Where here, when you do the shotgun, you don't have a targeted list. So one of the other cons about the shotgun is you're hitting a lot of people that probably do not need your services. They're not looking to move. They're not looking to sell their home, okay? So it costs a lot of money to go through that trash to find the potentials to get to the goal. Now, the investors are smarter. They read some forums, they read some books, they go to REI clubs. What they do is they target a list. Now, there's all types of lists, but let me just go to 2 lists to explain to you. You can target the foreclosure list. These are people that the bank has given them notices, and they're going to foreclose on their home in 30 days or less, okay, or plus or minus, depending on what state you're in. So there's a lot of motivation there. Or you could target out-of-state homeowners. These are people that may have used to live in Dallas, now they live in Las Vegas, and they got a job transfer, and they maybe don't want to deal with being a landlord, or they've already done it, and for a year or 2, and they're like, oh man, this is too hard for me, and I want to get out. So they're motivated. And there's so many other lists out there, like divorces. I could go into so many, but I'm not going to, okay? Now, how do I know the difference? Because, I traveled the path. When I first started, I did this, right? And then I got smarter, I started reading, and I did this. And then this is what I realized, that it costs a lot of money to do this. If you get a mailing list, let's say, the foreclosure, and there's 3,000 people on it, well, there's a lot of money to spend out in postcards or letters. It becomes big sums of money. If you're just sending out 100, then you're probably not going to get a good return. So this is where I came up with the dojo way. All right, the dojo way says that, since I'm a refugee to America and I don't like to spend a lot of money. Now, if you have unlimited amount of money for advertisement, okay, if you have like, to do mail outs, you have $10,000 a month or $50,000 or whatever it is, and you don't care, then may not be the thing for you. But if you're smart, you could take that $50,000 or $10,000 and do it this way, even get more deals, okay? So the dojo way says that, okay, I'm gonna market to this list, okay? Target the motivated sellers list here. However, I'm not gonna mail out to every single one of these. So let's say I have the foreclosure list, okay? And let's say I'm in Dallas or in Las Vegas, and and there's a lot of foreclosures before they changed the laws recently. So at the current time, so let's say, just to simplify, there's 3,000 people on the list, and I'm going to show you why I come up with this number. But let's say at the very, very, very minimum, it's cost me $1 to send it out. And I'll show you the numbers in a second, but this is very, very low end, guys, okay? So if I have a 3,000 and it's $1, guess how much I'm spending, dude? It's not rocket science. I'm spending $3,000 in marketing, okay? Now, that's way better than spending $3,000 and doing number one, where you just pick an area or you just blanket the area, because the majority of these people are not motivated. So if you spend $3,000, your return of investment would be like this little much. If you spend it here, your return on investment will be this much. So do you want this much or do you want this much? Now, the way I do it at the dojo, okay, I get this much return, but I only spend this much of money, okay? And that's the master key, which is what I call the master key, is what I call filtering. Because this business is kind of like digging for gold. In the gold rush days, not everything you dig is gold. A lot of it is just rocks and dirt and, insects and what have you. So that's not what you're looking for, okay? And to move this dirt and come to here to have the potential of having some gold after getting processed, it takes significant amount of energy, tools, and manpower and money, okay? So to move the dirt from the mailing list, so you have the mailing list here, and you want to simplify it, it takes money. And the way to do that is to send them letters, to send them postcards. That's how you're moving from the dirt and somehow getting the potentials, people that are potential want to sell their home. And then you're, of course, using my seller phone script to even grind it more to find a really motivated one, okay? So the dojo way is that we don't just send out the list to everyone. We use a filtering system to identify the motivated people in that list. So if this is the foreclosure list and there's 3,000 people, I may only send out a letter to 30. And these 30 people, the potential of them closing, I would say, is like 75%. So do you want to spend, say if it's $1, $30, and make each deal of these people with a higher potential of closing? Or do you want to blanket the area with your hard-earned money, $1, let's say, and it's $3,000 you have to spend on letters, and making the same amount of money, but you can see you have to spend more money. Now, how do you come to take that information and filter it out is what the course is about. I just wanted to kind of explain it to you, the 3 ways people do it, so you know the difference. I'm using what other people are talking about, but I've added my creativity and my ingenious to it to be able to discriminate or be able to raise the hands of the people in this list and says, okay, I am motivated to do a cash, or I'm motivated to do owner financing. Because some of these people on this list, majority of people on this list, or 50%, or who knows where you are, they're not going to want to sell it to you. They're just ready to go to foreclosure, or they'll find a different solution, or they'll borrow money from their friends and family. So I don't want to spend my money and energy targeting these people. It costs me money, a lot of money, okay? So now let's talk about the money. That's why I don't want to send out a list to 3,000 people and pay full price to top dollars. Now, I still have to use some kind of equipment or some kind of labor or some kind of technology to filter this out, but it's the way I do it, it costs me this little versus the 3,000. And that's the whole goal, guys. Now let's talk about what is, the requirement for direct mail campaign, okay? So I'm just gonna go with letters, but it's basically the same thing with postcard. The very first thing is you need stamps, okay? And the last time I checked, stamps were roughly 50 cents, okay? Then you're gonna need the flyer. Now that flyer can be the postcard, or it can be a letter, it can be one-sided or two-sided, it can have UV gloss, or it could be, full color, or depends, all that stuff will determine the cost of the flyer. You can go anywhere from black and white all the way to more expensive. You could chop it up, that piece of paper, into two, so you can have more flyers. So it all depends on your imagination and creativity. So I'm not gonna put a number on here. You're gonna have the envelope. Okay, again, I'm not gonna put a number on here because everybody can do different stuff, okay? You're gonna have the labor. Now, what is the labor? If you do it yourself, still labor. If you give it to somebody else to do it, still labor. What is the labor? The labor is to get the mailing list, to search to find the mailing list, to merge the information, to print out the labels, to stuff the envelopes, to fold the flyers, to put the business card in your flyer that you're going to put in the envelope, okay? And then you're going to have delivery, because you have to take it to the post office. If you're going to do 3,000, it's going to be a lot of boxes, you got to take it to a delivery. And some of you guys may use the cheaper way to do, where you get a meter, you get like a commercial stamp, and your stamp's going to cost a little bit less. But then you got to deliver. Your delivery cost is going to go a little bit higher, because you just can't take it to your normal postal service. You got to take it to the hub, right? Every major city may only have one hub or two hubs. So you might have to drive really far to take it to that big hub, because that's the only way to do the direct mails. They save you money. So I'm not going to get into that because there's so many variables. But when you add this all up, you're going to get a minimum $1 per piece. Okay? Could you give me another pen? So you're going to get basically $1 per letter, assuming that's the cheapest way. Now you can go a lot more, but realistically you're going to be somewhere in $1.50 to $1 plus. Now it depends on the letters you use, whatever. Okay. To do this stuff, okay. Now let's do the math, because now we kind of understand what's in here. Then we notice it's $1. Well, we think, well, $1's not that much, dude. But again, if you do $1, let's do the math. And this is the reason why I think the dojo way is much better, because it saves you so much money. Okay, it costs so much money to do direct mail. The math. All right, so this is going to be the units. We're going to do, let's say we buy a list, and I didn't even include buying the list. So let me say we buy a foreclosure list, and there's 1,000 people on it, okay? And we're going to mail to all of them, and we're just going to make it real simple. We're just going to say the mailing just costs $1, because I know it's going to cost more, but I'd rather just be all negative and be on the lower side, okay? So we're spending $1, we're going to mail out to 1,000 people. It's going to cost us $1,000, okay? Now, the leads that we're going to get on this, on an average, if you look all on the internet, direct mail opening, like somebody that's really good, they're getting like 1 to 3%, 2 to 3%, but I'm saying 1 to 3%. But let's go on the lower side, just to make everything on the lower side 1%. So out of that, you're getting 10 leads. All right? And let's use the law of probability out of 10 leads, because not all these people are going to be, this is not all gold. None of these are going to be all deals. When you get one deal. Okay? Now, can you see that? Depends on what the deal is. If the deal you just made $3,000, then was this a bad transaction? No, it wasn't. You put $1,000, you made $3,000. If you made $5,000, was this a bad transaction? No. You made anything above that, then absolutely not. But is that bad? No, it's not bad. But what if you could just only send out 30 letters and it only cost you $30 and you still got the same $3,000? You see the difference where you spend this much money and your profit will be more, if not equally the same. Okay? So that's the key. The key is not to spend that $1,000, to spend, instead of spending $1,000 and hitting all these 1,000 people, there's a better ways to find the motivated people in here without using the most expensive marketing. Because direct mail is like your right punch. You don't want to just use your right punch every time. You need jabs. You need jabs. Once the person is ready, then you come with the right punch. And that's what the whole dojo way is, because I realized, like, for me as a refugee, even though when I had my 7-figure business, I wanted to do mail outs for my moving company. I wanted to do my mail outs for my brokerage firm. I wanted to do mail outs for my Mr. Investor. Damn, it got expensive, you know, and I was printing so much stuff. So I realized, hey, no, I can't do this because I'm not going to grow. I want to be like an average person. I need exponential levers. How can I identify the 1,000 people and see who's the most motivated and narrow them down to whatever, X. In this case, in my example, X was 30 people, and only mail out to these 30 people, okay? And still get the same exact harvest, all right? If not more, because these people were actually motivated. They responded, they rose their hand, they called me, I used my VAs, or you can be yourself, use my cellular phone script, I qualified them, etc. guys, before I started sending them letters, all right? Now, let's do, and more realistic, because usually 1,000 postcards is very low. You know, if you want to get some good deals, like, you're going to have to do like 10,000 postcards, okay? At $1 a piece, which is going to be a lot more, guys, but at $1 a piece, all right, you're looking at $10,000. 10K, okay? Now, how many leads would that give you? 100 leads. And if you're closing the law of probability, like you don't know shit and you're just starting out, let's just say 10% like the last one, then you're getting 10 deals. All right? And if every deal was, for example, $3,000, just to be fair, again, on the low end side, like, you know, this is just shitty ass deal, but there's people still wanting for it. You just made $3,000 as an assignment fee because you're a wholesaler. We're not going to talk about, like, if you want to buy it for yourself and you made, you know, a lot of money because you're buying an old guy, or we're not going to talk about all this because it gets even more complicated. Okay, but let's just keep it simple. You got 10 leads. The law of probability says if you don't know the answer out of 10 questions, you'll get one right. So we have 100. 10 of them are going to convert, and we get $3,000 each. So how much is that? 30K. All right, so you spend 10K, you make 30K. Is that bad? No, dude, because I don't know any Bank of America that allows you to do that, okay? Now, that's the old school way. That's why people are like, oh my God, I'm getting rich, and they loving that shit, right? But I added my refugee twist to it, because how about out of this situation, instead of me doing 30, what if I only had to mail out 100 people and still make the same exact price, all right? That's the key, because the mail out to me is my right punch. I'm not just going to throw it just to dig, okay? I'm not going to do that. I'm going to use it for the knockout punch, okay? And what is the knockout punch? I take the list, whatever it is, foreclosures, divorce, whatever, probate, whatever it is, you take the list and you scrub it. You take the list and you filter it. Like, you know, you've seen it on the Western, they go like this, with it, and you filter it, and you only start processing what looks like potential gold, and then you throw your right punch in, dude. Which will save you thousands of dollars. Give me 1 second, let me get some of this tea. All right, The next point is very, very important. All right, and I want to make sure you understand this. There's 4 factors to success in direct mail. Just 4 simple factors for success, all right? Now, the very first one, I'm going to call it 0, because if you do this 0, it doesn't matter if you're ignorant, you're illiterate, you're a refugee, you don't have no fucking money, you don't have no fucking support, you don't know left from right, you don't even speak fucking English. If you do this number 0, right, which is called will persistence, you will fucking win. You don't even need this fucking course, dude, because that's the way I did it. I just did it through will persistence, and that's what many people are missing. They want all the information. So the will persistence, this is 4 factors for success in direct mail. The number 1, the most important one to me is will persistence. What does that mean? That means that if you don't know, if you have a shitty ass flyer, you have horrible copywriting, you have messed spellings, you don't know how to mail out to the list, you don't know how to get the list, you don't know any, it doesn't matter, you got those, it doesn't matter. You will continue doing it, continue sending letters to these people till they give you a deal. If you do that, what's called will persistence, you don't need any education in your course, man. That's it, okay? But I know the majority of people don't, so I'm going to explain the other 3 factors or that are important to the success of doing direct mails, guys. Give me 1 second. All right, so the very first one after the main one is what I call multiple touches, okay? Or follow-up. It's very, very crucial that if you're gonna have a direct mail campaign, and if your budget is to only do $1,000, that you don't send out, let's say assuming it's $1 per mail out, that you don't just send out 1,000 letters, because you only touch them once, and your probability of closing and getting a deal is very, very slim, okay? Because the majority of people are not gonna respond. It's very crucial that you're able to touch them multiple times. So if you had a $1,000 budget, then you may only want to send out 100 letters, or you may want to send out 150 letters 5 times. So you reach out to the same exact people 5 times at 5 different intervals, okay? So the very first, besides the one we talked about, factor for success is multi-touches. Yeah. Thank you. So again, multi-touches is so crucial, guys. This is the most important part. If you don't learn anything today, please learn that you got to do multi-touches in direct marketing or any kind of marketing, okay? And follow-up is king, if not queen, okay? Now, the second most important factor for success in a direct mail is what I call pattern description. You have to be able to shock the seller or the receiver for them to take the minute to read your information. If your information looks like every other information, if the color of paper or the envelope looks like everyone else, it feels like everyone else, then you're not gonna shock that seller or the receiver of your marketing material for them to open it up and even take time to read your copywriting, okay? Very, very important, guys. Now, back in the days when I was doing moving and we used to send out letters to our target audience, we used to stuff them with candy, like chocolate bars, so it had a little lump into it, and people would open it up. I don't know if they ate it or not, but it made it feel different, and we always handwriting it. One of the best pattern description is what I call handwriting them. Actually handwriting them, not using their meter stamps, the commercial stamps. Using one of those stamps you get from your mom or your grandma if you have any of those, okay? It's so crucial because if you had to send out 1,000 people, it would take forever. But if you had already filtered those people, shake them out, and those 1,000 people were only 30, see, you can handwrite 30. You can give somebody 10, 20 bucks to do 30. But 1,000 will take a long time, see? So pattern disruption is very, very important for you to get their attention. Okay? This is so important, guys, and this is so important, and this is so important. I mean, they're all very important. This is going to determine your success. Now, the next one is very, very important, all right? So before you get to the next one, you got to make sure that you have done pattern disruption. You've done something that makes that person, before they throw your piece of paper in the trash, like all the other spam they get, they think that this is not spam. They think that this is not from a bank, this is not from a credit lender, this is not from a collection office, this is not some insurance bullshit. They think that this is one human being with loving care wants to get another person, human being. So it has to be something like that, guys, okay? Something that's gonna say, what is this? Let me open this up. Now, the next part is very, very crucial, because what this pattern disruption does, it allows you about maybe 19 seconds for that person to open that envelope up and pull your flyer and take a look at it. So then the very next thing is what I call your sales copy letter. Guys, this is the very, very, very important part of this, dude. This is very, 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 very important, guys, because if you didn't do this pattern description, you're not gonna get even to this step, okay? Now, if you've done this one correctly, right, you have 19 seconds or less for them to decide if you're a spam, or do you have vital information or helpful information for them, okay? Now, I know so many people that say, look, man, I got an A in English class, or I'm a great writer, or I met people that have written great books. But when it comes to sales, they can't sell. Now, when it comes to doing a sales copy, guess what? They can't do it. So, because normal writing or book writing is totally different than sales copywriting. It's a whole different animal, and majority of us, be honest with you, are not good at it at all. We may spell great, we know where the commas go, we're the best speller, but it just doesn't convert. So your copywriting is so crucial. It's so crucial. I just can't explain it, guys. Give me 1 second. All right. Now, in this copywriting, there should be a couple of things in here that most people don't realize, okay? In sales copy, you cannot use the shotgun effect. You can't just throw something out there like we buy houses and then expect it to stick with everybody, guys. Maybe only 10% of people will stick to. That's it, okay? So when you do your sales copy, like, guys, I'm a refugee, I can't read and write, but I understand sales copy because I've been doing it since high school, guys. So, now if I'm gonna do long copies, I hire people to do it. And I just don't hire anybody, because 99% of people cannot do sales copy, okay? And so I don't want to even pay for somebody else to do it wrong because they think they're a good writer. Being a good writer has nothing to do with this. Nothing, dude. These two things are basically what you need to do. You need to basically see your audience. You need to, there's like, if you go out there in a crowd, there's so many people, are you seeing your audience? Yeah, I mean, you see a lot of people, but you're not seeing anybody specifically. Only when you zoom into that, anybody that has a red clothes, then you can see them. Here's Johnny, here's Bobby, here's Sally, okay, you zoom in. Or anybody that's wearing black, then you can zoom in. Or all white people, all kids, okay, that's when you can start seeing patterns, okay? So it's very important that you see your audience. So if I am doing a letter to divorces, I wouldn't just say on there, hey, I buy houses. Well, great, you're spamming me, you're fucking with me, dude. I'm going through a divorce, I don't want to hear your shit, okay? So what do they want? You want to be able to see your customer, which is, hey, this is a divorce. Am I targeting the woman, or am I targeting the male? If you can do that, that's great. If not, those don't matter, but at least I know what they are. What kind of emotions are they going through? And which brings me to the second part is you have to be them. What kind of emotions are they going through? You know, what kind of hardships, how are they going to be feeling? You know, when do you think is the best time for me to reach out to them? And you have to consider all that. If you're doing the sales letters where it says like, you know, I've been in business for 7 years. I pay cash. I close fast. I have all these cash buyers. I do this. I'm so good at this. My company does this. We're on the better business. Dude, no one gives a fuck, dude. No one gives a fuck, okay? You think somebody that's going through a divorce gives a fuck about how you're going to buy their house and how much money you make and how you have cash and how you're going to make money off of them and buy their home at 60 cents on the dollar? You think they give a fuck about that? No, come on, dude. Do you really think that person gives a fuck about that? Right? They don't give a fuck about that, right? So, one thing I forgot to put into my, the 4 factors is that, and I'll put it right here, I guess, is that you have to build authority. Okay? Authority is someone that's not like trying to like, we're all trying to make money, dude. I'm trying to make money, you're trying to make money, Mike's trying to make money. All these people, we're all trying to make money, right? But we have to go the extra miles and put the money aside so we can get the massive money, or we're just gonna be stuck with the crumbs. So, whenever I talk to a seller, I always try to help them build authority to let them know I'm an expert in this. And the reason I do this, because I don't say, oh, I'm an expert. I help them out. I say, look, dude, you can do, not foreclosure, bankruptcy. And if you wanted a couple of attorneys, I'll give you the phone numbers. Hey, you could do a short sell. Hey, you can do this. Hey, I try to educate them, even if I don't make any money. And by me doing all this stuff where nobody else does, the seller feels like, well, this guy's an authority, dude. I trust, and the great thing with authority is because there's trust now. Now, am I trying to make money? Absolutely. But am I willing not to make money and help this guy out? Fuck yes, dude. Fuck yes. I'm willing to help this guy out and not make any fucking money. Right? Because I'm the authority, dude. I want to build trust because I know that if I help this guy out, A, the creator will take care of me. B, this guy's going to be so happy. He's going to send me his friends and family. So I'm going to win anyways. Okay, so to build authority. So it's very important in your sales letters, you're not doing the type of marketing what is called me. I buy houses cash. I close quickly. We can do this. We give you this. We give you this. Okay, it's not about that. Okay, it's about you educating them and helping them. Okay, now to get a good sales copy person, if you go, for example, on Elance or Upwork, there's hundreds of people there. Thousands of people bid on it. Some bid cheap, some bid middle, some bid high. It doesn't mean they're good, dude. Okay. To get somebody that's really good, you're going to spend thousands of dollars. But they understand the sales process, you know, and that's the whole thing because there's a way to do sales, especially on a piece of paper when you're not even there. On a piece of paper, you're not seeing that person's face. Are they frowning? Are they smiling? Are they getting their guards up? Are they listening? Are they leaning forward? So you have to present it in a way that you're absent. So the sales copy is so important. And in your sales copy, it should not be about me. If you educate the seller, they're going to come and they're going to take the time to let me get on Google and see who the hell Mr. Investor is, right? Or who is Mike Clark? I'm going to go up there and see who this guy is. Okay? And how do you build authority through the mails? Well, you have to touch them multiple times. And every letter you send them should be something with vital information to them. Okay? Now, let me stop and do a little selling, guys. Okay? I have my ultimate marketing machine that has a library vault of 67 different type of audience segments like divorces, foreclosures, probate. I go on and on. 67 guys that I've used in my business that I target specifically. These are 67 pools of different kind of places where you can fish, and there's not people on there. It's not like the fucking MLS. It's not like the auction where so many people bidding there. No, these are isolated pools of fishes. They're mapped out away from everybody, and in these 67 segments, I see the customer, like for example, divorces, I'll put for D, I see them and I become them, and then I target them with information just for them, okay? And then I do another one, let's say foreclosures, and I do the same exact thing, okay? But I'm not doing general information that's like, for, that works for this guy and this guy. No, I'm doing specific information. Hire the very best person to do the copywriting, because I can do short, but I can't do long. But why would I even do that? I want to hire the best people because it costs so much money. As we talked about, if you want to do 1,000 letters, it's going to cost you $1,000. It's going to cost you more than that. I'm just going very low, and the conversion rate is it's not the greatest. Okay, so if you guys are interested in getting the copy letter, again, I have 67 different types of audiences. Motivated seller audiences like divorces, probate, and I have different letters that go in deep, follow-up, because remember what we talked about? You got to do multiple touches. It's not just a one-time letter. These copy letters and postcards, what they're going to do is build authority from you to the seller, and it's a copy and paste job. All you got to do is just copy and paste it, add your company phone number and website address and email if you want, and that is it. You could take that text and give it to a designer, and they can make a beautiful designer. You can just do it normal black and white print and just send it out, guys. What counts is I see the audience and I become the audience, and I hire the very best person with years of experience of sales. Together we came up with a marketing machine that understands the customer, becomes the customer, and we add authority, and then we help them create a win-win situation. So they're calling you instead of you chasing them, okay? If you're interested in that, right now we're having a special right now. The book retails, it's not a book, it's the course. There's 67 different postcards and letters. It retails for $500. Guys, but right now I'm letting you have it for 97 bucks. Why am I letting you have it for 97 bucks? When I pay thousands and thousands of dollars for it? Because I want you guys to have success, guys. I want you to use this, market, get your first check, take a picture of it, and send it to me. If you don't want to send it to me, I just want you to make your first check and help you get to the next level. And I'm very confident that this is going to help you do that if you take action. Now, if you buy this thing and you don't take any action, does it work? Absolutely not. Now, if you buy this package, it's only the letters and the postcards for the different types of audiences that are motivated, and we do the authority building through multiple letters that you're going to send to them, okay? It does not have my filtering system, okay? This is just the marketing assets. It does not have my filtering system. If you're interested in my filtering system, we'll talk about it in a little bit. But let's move forward, guys, okay, to the next topic, which is very, very important. Now, the whole idea is that you're trying to get a conversion, okay, from these letters. Now, to do that, you need to understand what I call the 6 for success. Okay. It's very crucial you guys understand that. If you don't understand anything, it's very crucial you understand this. So what this says is, it says the first 6 represents that you have to follow up with any seller, in this case doing the mail-outs. You got to at least follow with them 6 times. At the very minimum. This way you get the maximum conversion. You get the maximum juice. Like you have a wet towel, you're squeezing all the oil, all the, money out of it, dude. Because you work so hard for it. It costs money. You need to get every of it. So you got to follow up 6 times. The other thing that it talks about is that you have to do 6 different medias. Okay? And this is the very crucial, guys. This is where most people don't get it right. What does this mean? If you're just sending out the follow-up, just 6 postcards back to back, you're going to get a lot of conversions. A lot. Way more than somebody that doesn't do anything, or way more than somebody that only sends out 1 or 2. Okay? But if you add the 6 other medians, then you're going to get an exponential conversion. What does that mean? Like x to the power of 10 or x to the power of 2. Depends how big your list is. What do I mean? Well, you send them the postcard, then you still have to touch them in 6 different types of medium besides postcards. You may want to touch them on their Facebook Instant Messenger. You might want to run an ad on Facebook retargeting to retarget them. You may want to text message them. You may want to cold call them. You may want to go to their door and put a door hanger in front of their door. See, because when you use my filtering system, you don't have to go to 1,000 people's homes and leave a door hanger. Because we narrow them down and there's only 30, so you only have to go to 30 people's home. And these 30 people are the motivated ones, the ones that raise their hands. You're not just going to any random person, dude. You're going to somebody you spoke over the phone with, they showed motivation, and then you're hitting those people because you don't have to spend a lot of time. It's 30 people, you can probably get it done in 1 day or 2 days, right? Just drive it if you're doing it yourself. But your conversion rate is going to be a lot higher, guys. So it basically says that you got to hit up people 6 times, follow them 6 times, and you have to use 6 types of medias, like let's say cold calling. Cold calling is different than text messaging, okay? That's different than mailing. That's different than, Facebook Messenger. That's different than Facebook ad, okay? That's different than door hangers, okay? You have to hit them up 6 times with 6 different medias. That way they're like, damn, this guy is everywhere. I just got a letter from him. I saw him on Facebook news feed. I got a text message from him. I got a cold call from him. Somebody put a flyer. I mean, this guy is everywhere. And then they're going to think that, hey, that's because you're an authority. You've been using these letters. You're using my ultimate marketing postcard machine that I'm letting you guys have it for $97 when I paid a lot more for it, and there's people that paid the full price for it. You could just download it for $97. You're building authority to that. You're building authority. They see you everywhere. They think, man, this guy's a real authority, okay? And he knows what he's doing. And then you know what you're doing. You're watching this stuff to know what you're doing to build that authority. So this second 6 is very, very important, guys. All right? Very, very, very good question. And this is one of the primary reasons I don't like to work the foreclosure list myself, okay? When I first started, I went to all the seminars, and that's what they sell you, and I'm like, oh man, this is a hot list. And here's what I don't like. I like to buy it when they're financing. And if I meet a seller that's behind in their payment and they're in a foreclosure, I have to go with a big lump of money. I don't want to do that. Right? I'd rather just take the house and they're not behind at all. I like to take the payments where the seller makes the payments. I don't want to come with $5-10 grand to take over a house if it doesn't have a lot of equity. And see, that's why I don't like foreclosure. The number 2 reasons I don't like the foreclosures is because you don't have a lot of time to work them. However, when I did work the foreclosure list, I fired off those letters back to back. So I didn't wait like a whole week, okay? And now that brings me to my VA filtering system because there's such a short period of time, okay? You can't just wait for the letters. That's why you have to, okay? So let's say you send out you got the foreclosure list, there was 1,000 people in it, okay? And you spend $1, which equals $1,000. Okay? And the 10% rule, you got 10 leads. Okay? Well, that's a lot of money. If you divide 10 into 1,000 or 1,000 into 10, you're basically paying $100 per lead. Now, that's a lot, right? But it's still not bad if you're gonna make 3,000, right? I mean, you just have to spend $1,000 and you make 3,000. That's not bad. I just have better ways of doing it where I can spend 1,000 and make 20, make 1,000 and make 10, or don't even spend 1,000, spend 100 and make 10. See what I'm saying? So that's my thing. There's nothing wrong with this equation, but it's just too much. Now, what I have done with my VA system, VA filtering system, I'm sorry, not my VA filtering system, with my mail my massive PLM conversion system. Guys, I'm going to be making some easier names for my products because it's so damn hard to pronounce it myself. So that's why I like the mother course, because it's so easy, guys. So yeah, see, start where you stand. You're going to make a lot of fucking mistakes. You're going to have products where you can't even pronounce it. And then you say, hey man, I got to make some changes, right? So this is how I learned this stuff, because I made all these mistakes, but I didn't do it in speaking. I made it in buying homes, dude, right? So I made all this mistake. I spent a lot of fucking time and energy. I had to go back and redo it. And this is why I learned. I've been doing this since high school. I've never had a job, never have a resume, even though I have a college degree. So I've been on the streets since high school. I used to sell supplements just door to door, just knocking on people's doors. People walking in the mall, hey, you need some protein, man? You want some ultimate nutrition? You want some EAS? So that's how I roll. Now, because I've done this, I learned how to filter this out. And this is what I want to show you. So instead of mailing out to the whole 1,000 people, there's ways where you can use that technology, take these thousands of people here, and then you filter it. Okay? Now, how do you filter it to just only get 10 people to mail out? Okay? So instead of spending $1,000, what if you could filter this for $10? What if you could filter this for $50? What if you could filter this for $100? Okay? It all depends on what filtering systems you use. Now, if you want to know exactly the filtering systems that I use, they're awesome because I show you how to use technology, like text messaging, like cold calling, and a bunch of different stuff, and how to get the seller's phone number. So if you see them on the foreclosure list, how can you get the seller's phone number so you could text message them, so you could cold call them? Because as my friend said earlier, if they're on the foreclosure list, they're going to be closing quick. So you have to move quickly. So you want to go ahead and text message them really quick. You want to go ahead and call them real quick. And then the ones that raise their hand, then you want to send out the postcards, okay? So in my mass PLM system, I show you how to do the filtering, okay? So you don't have to spend $1,000, where you only have to spend maybe $10, $15, $20, depends on what filtering you want to use, to get the most motivated people, and then use your right punch to do the direct mail. So I only use the direct mail as a right punch. I don't use the direct mail as a way to just dig. It costs too much, dude. I can hire a VA in India that speaks great English, has a college degree, a master's degree, and I'm paying them $4 a day, and they could do the digging for me. So why would I spend $1,000 to get 10 leads? I could hire a VA for that 8 hours that the guy worked for me. If I pay him he'll produce me 3 to 5 leads. And if I had 2 of them, you can see I could get that. And how much did I spend? $8. So that's the thing with when you're a refugee and you've been doing stuff since day one, from ground one, you learn a lot of creativity, you learn a lot of foundation that the other guys don't have. And who are the other guys? The ones some of you guys see on YouTube and Facebook that are now becoming investors, but 5 years ago they had jobs, they got fired. I've never had a job, man. I've been keeping it real as an entrepreneur since day one, guys. So if you're interested in how to do the filtering, definitely order my mass PLM system. It is expensive, it's like $1,000. But before you get that, I will highly recommend you download my Ultimate Marketing Machine. I have it on sale. It's $500. It's $97. You get to see what kind of quality you're getting. So that's your best bet. So download my marketing machine. It's $97. There's 67 different types of letters and postcards for all specs of motivated sellers, like foreclosures, evictions, etc., guys. Okay. And then you're getting it at the bargain. It's $500. You get it for $97. You get to see what kind of quality it is. Then if you're already more advanced and you need the mass PLM system where you actually learn how to find the seller's phone numbers, so you call them, you could text them, so you could do all this stuff without spending this much money, without sending the letter to all these people, then you might want to step your game up to here, guys. This is program. It is expensive, but again, $1,000 one-time investment will help you get leads significantly a lot cheaper, especially if you plug in my other modules like my virtual assistants. If you get my virtual assistant book and you hire VAs in third world countries, and they're doing the cold calling for you, and you know how to get the seller's phone numbers, and it's just a machine, and you just now have a machine that's generating you significant amount of leads, guys. Any questions?
Wanda wanted to know where you find those lists that you were talking about.
If you just type in Google, you'll find them. For a while I was selling the expire list, the foreclosure list, but it's just too much work. You could get them a lot of this stuff for free, but it takes time. You just go to the county clerk's office, like whatever you live. If you live in Dallas, you type in Dallas County Clerk's Office, and you sit there and you search for that. Like the foreclosures are on the county clerk's office. The evictions are on the county clerk's office. Sorry, I got to close in my mind because I freestyle everything, and I got to see it in my mind before I can tell it to you. Now, what I recommend is before you spend any money, you guys, my thing is I want to help you make money without spending money. That's how I like to do business. I like to spend no money and make money. I like to use what's called house money. I spend my imagination, my creativity, my sweat equity. I make money. With that money, I don't spend any of it on myself. I use all that money to reinvest into my business. Then when I get that money again, I don't take any of it, and I keep continuing. And what I call house money is free money. I never had to put my time. I just had to put my time. I didn't put any money, okay? So where am I going with that is that I wouldn't recommend that you go and spend your money in buying a list, okay? Everybody does that. If you want to see if this thing works, you don't need a list. You can just get on Craigslist. Get on the rental section, get on the for sale section, get on fizbos.com, and websites like that, and start emailing people, text messaging them, cold calling them, okay? Now, if you don't know what to text them, I have on my website a bunch of ads you can get for $150 that's proven to work. If you don't know what to tell them when you're cold calling them, download my seller phone script. It's what all my students use when they pay me $25,000. It's what I use in my own business. So everything's on my website, but what I recommend to you is don't spend money on getting a list if you haven't done it because it's going to cost you money. Get on these free things. Generate leads. If you call somebody on Craigslist and you ask them my seller questionnaire form and they sound motivated because you'll know from there, because I show you in my training video on the seller phone script, what is a motivated seller, then that person you will put onto your list of the right punches. I hope that makes sense. So let's run through it one more time. You get on Craigslist or you get on Fizbos and you reach out to them, whatever you want. Text them, cold call them, email them. Whenever they call back, you pick up the phone, you screen it with my seller phone script, okay? And if they're motivated, only if they're motivated. If they're not motivated, there's no reason to throw the right punch. You gotta keep still jabbing, follow up, because it costs a lot of money to throw the right punch. I only want you to throw the right punch when it's gonna be a knockout. I don't want you to just constantly throw the right punch because it costs a lot of money. It's going to drain your energy, okay? And again, if you have 10, 20 grand, great. When I had 3 businesses and I was making 7-figure, I had to advertise to 3 businesses. It becomes very, very expensive. I would order thousands of thousands. I would have to dolly up all the flyers and postcards that we had to do because the UPS man would come, and there'd be tons of them. I had to get my movers to do it. So, yeah, I had the marketing money budget to do that. But I realized that, hey, if I realize to filter it, it's much better. And that's my thing, is that you can use the filtering system, which I'm telling you right now how to do it, pretty much. There's a lot more you learn from the book. Is don't get the list. Get on Craigslist, get on Fizbos, make the cold call. The people that call back or raise their hand and you identify them as motivated, only mail out to those people. And what should you mail out? My ultimate postcard machine that I'm just letting you have for $97 that's worth $500 that has 67 types of motivated sellers, like divorces, eviction, foreclosures, probate. I can go on and on, guys. So it doesn't matter. You talk to the seller, they say, I have a symptom of divorce. You look into that library, divorce, there's a bunch of letters and postcards that are for divorce. You just pull those out and just send them one by one, okay? That's how simple it is, okay? You talk to another person and they say, hey, it's an eviction. You look in that library, eviction, and there's a bunch of, for that person, and you send them in that specific order. Then it's number 1, number 2, and what it does is it builds off authority, builds rapport with them that you're not just saying me, buy from me or sell to me. You're helping educate the seller. So simply put, get on Craigslist, get on whatever. 2, identify the motivated from non-motivated, hopefully using my seller phone script. 3, only mail out to the motivated using my ultimate marketing machine that has the 67 pre-identified motivated seller audience sections with top-notch copywriting. I didn't write it, I can't spell, I can't write, there's no way hell I'm gonna do it, but I know how to sell, and me and a top sales copywriter got together and made these things to work because I was tired of spending money without a conversion, guys. Any other questions? Good question. All right, guys, only a few days left on my ultimate marketing machine is 97 bucks. I'm not gonna let you down. If you get on my website, Google, Facebook, just read the reviews, man. I go the extra mile. I'm not here just to make money. I want to change your life. I want to help you impact your family's life. And I love to just see you guys make checks, man, and hit me up and say, hey, dude. I mean, I still see people at the malls that I changed their life by fitness, by training them like when I was in high school. So it's a great feeling, guys, to be a positive force. So if I helped you make any kind of money, reach out to me, man. I don't bite. Let me know, I helped you out. Let me know you took action and helped yourself fucking out, because that's the very most important part, that you took action to help yourself out. I'd love to hear it. It pumps me up, guys. Don't forget, the sale's about to end very soon. The ultimate marketing machine is 97 bucks. Guys, if the sale ends and you're watching this video 3 months, 6 months later, please don't hit me up and say, can I get it for that price? Fuck no. I run a fair business. When it's on sale, everybody gets it when it's off sale. So if you're watching this 3 years from now and it's not 97 bucks, it's 500 bucks, that's what it is. There might not ever be a sale again on it, guys. Thank you so much. Hustle and bustle. See you, gang.
Thanks for
Hey, thank you, sir.